Yo, good afternoon and welcome back to Heavy Metal Devils. Danny here giving you more of the latest Manchester United news. And we've got some news regarding Sofiane Amrabat. Fred potentially agreeing to personal terms already on his new club. And a bit of news on McTOMINAY and Harry Maguire. But just before we get into all that, you know what? I see a lot of you kind of watching these videos, but not subscribing. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense to me. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get to 600 subscribers now. Anyway, let's get into the news. Let's start with Sofiane Amrabat. So it looks like this Sofiane Amrabat deal could be imminent. It could be happening almost any day, maybe this week, maybe next week at the moment. So it kind of ties into the next story I'm going to be reading anyway. So according to the Mirror, the MEN, Daily Mail, Sofiane Amrabat. Well, I don't know why I just did this, but that was for the next part I was going to say. Sofiane Amrabat has reportedly packed his bags. There we go. And is getting ready to leave Fiorentina and head over to North England, Manchester. But there could be a little snag on the way. There has been reports that Al Ahly are trying to hijack Amrabat from Manchester United. They're throwing in a little bid. I don't see that happening whatsoever. He wants Manchester United. He said he wanted Manchester United. Eric Ten Hag wants him, and he kind of fits in pretty well with what we're trying to do here. So yeah, I wouldn't be worried at all about that bid from Al Ahly or anything from Saudi Arabia. Liverpool interest has died off. Every other club has kind of pulled out of his race. It's only Manchester United left, which means that this deal is set to be done in the next coming days. I'd say by the end next week, we'll have a here we go, and he will be a Manchester United player. It all kind of ties into the next story I'm going to read. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you think about Sofiane Amrabat. I think he is going to be a great fit. I don't actually see him as an out-and-out starter in this club. I do see Casemiro, Bruno, and Mason Mount being our main starters, but we're going to have difficult games, and we're going to need to start Casemiro and Amrabat. Not to mention, Casemiro loves to get a red card every now and then. I would even say every now and then, quite often. So we'll need some backup for Casemiro because at the moment, the backups we have are not quite adequate to our needs. McTominay is decent, but not a good backup to Casemiro. And speaking of a backup to Casemiro, Fred. Fred has reportedly agreed to personal terms over the weekend with Galatasaray. Now, a few things need to happen with this Galatasaray move. First, they need to pull their head out their ass. They offered $6 million for Fred just the other week, immediately turned down. Come back in with around 15 to 18, maybe even 20 million, and we'll start talking and we'll get that deal done. Because once that deal is done, Amrabat should be done within days of that. And I can actually see this Fred one moving quite quick now. Now that he's agreed personal terms, that's a big, big step forward. He hasn't been on tour due to personal reasons, but I do think those personal reasons is him trying to find a new club. There were reports from Saudi Arabia being interested. We all know Fulham were interested, but I think they were kind of priced out of the move. They didn't want to pay that 15, 20 million price we're looking for. So it looks like now it's Galatasaray. I thought he played there. I think maybe it was Shakhtar he played for. I cannot remember where we bought him from, to be honest. But yeah, Fred agrees personal terms, and this is coming out of Steady News and a few other outlets as well. So yeah, it looks like this move is set to happen, I would say, within the coming days. I'm surprised, actually, it's not happened yet. But maybe being that there were a few clubs in for him, he's just taking his time to decide where he wants to go and where his family would like to go and what best suits him. And maybe Galatasaray, I think he'd be a really solid player there. Maybe that's the place he feels most comfortable at. So Fred to Galatasaray, I'd say, look at that. That's about 80% likely to happen in the next few days. It's been a pleasure having him here. He's pissed me off. He's pissed us all off at times. But you know what? He did improve, and he had some solid games. He's had some really good games against some big teams. Don't forget that. So good luck, Fred, wherever you're going. And we'll cover that as soon as it's confirmed that he is gone. Another midfielder that was set to leave but looks set to stay now is Scott McTominay. So it looked like Scott McTominay was going to West Ham for, I think I would say, around between 30 and 40 million. We wanted 40 million for him. West Ham were reluctant to pay that price, but I could see a deal for between 30 and 40 million actually happening for McTominay. But as we all know, last week during the Real Madrid game, Kobbie Mainoo came out with quite a serious injury and is going to be out for what looks like up to 6 months. So Ten Hag is a bit reluctant to sell McTominay at the moment. So what looks like it's going to happen is McTominay will stay here until January, play the part that Kobbie Mainoo was going to play. He's not going to be a starter. He will feature in games, but just not that consistently. And then come January, hopefully Kobbie Mainoo is back from injury, can get up to speed. Hopefully it's not too serious with them. And then we can let McTominay leave. Hopefully, the only thing is that, do you think West Ham or any other club will still be interested in McTominay in that January window? I don't think any club is really going to want to spend £30 million on McTominay during January, but who knows? Let's see what happens. I thought that move, I would honestly still say if West Ham want to pay between 30 and 40 million for Scott McTominay, I'm still on that boat that just take it. It's a good offer. We can make do until January. Especially if we get in a guy like AMRABAT, we'll be fine. And in January, we can go and get another midfielder if necessary. I'm down for keeping Donny. He actually has been playing quite well on this preseason. Had a really good game last night against Borussia Dortmund. So I would actually be all about selling McTominay, maybe keeping Donny and getting him some more minutes for a sale in January. And more news on Harry Maguire. Did anyone watch that game last night? You guys see Harry Maguire get a bollocking? Sorry, I'm just searching. Anyone see Harry Maguire completely get torn to shreds by Andre Onana? Yeah, that was pretty funny. I mean, his game was whatever, to be honest. But yeah, there's been a few things said about Maguire. Let's start with what Erik Ten Hag has said. He said that he fully backs Maguire, apparently, but you cannot trust what Ten Hag says. He said, "I will not say that Harry Maguire isn't part of this group. He has to fight for his position. He's a very good center back." And he mentioned that he could actually get his spot back into the team. But we all know Ten Hag. Ten Hag will say one thing into the media and the exact opposite happens. So I do believe Ten Hag does want him to get out. It's just finding that right deal. And I think Mikhail Sylvester, I can never say I'm American, I apologize, can never say names right, has advised him to leave the club. I think who cares about that? You can advise anyone to leave the club. If they're not up for it, they're not going to do it. Everyone knows Harry Maguire needs to get out of the club, but it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen unless he wants to. But yeah, how do you rate his performance over this preseason? It's been a bit shaky. You can tell that he's lost some confidence there. But yeah, let me know what you think, guys. Not much news on Harry Maguire, just a little bit of a chat about Harry Maguire. But looks like Sofiane Amoubat deal is set to happen very, very soon. As long as this Fred deal can be sealed, done, and off this week, it looks like he is on his way to Galatasaray now that he has got his personal terms agreed. McTominay looks set to stay at Manchester United just for the foreseeable future. Most likely off in January now with Kobbie Mainoo's injury. But yeah, comment, like, share below. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's get to 600 subscribers ASAP, all right? I've got some other videos coming out for you this week, so stay tuned and turn that notification bell on, and I will see you all on the next one. Later.